Welcome to Trout Talk right here at Saga 960 AM. My name is Mike Karafilidis, otherwise known as Mikey K. Voice on the road for the Steelheads all the time. Joining me is my partner, Brendan Lang, and he is your voice at home for the Steelheads, and he does a lot of things on the side to keep this thing going. So, my man, Brendan, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Mikey. Good to be here today. Doing a little bit of a different episode. We'll get into that here in a little bit than we usually do. We're excited to talk to our guests. But anyways, yeah, I've been pretty good. I feel like not a lot has gone on in the past little bit here. I've been really watching the Raptors. I've been into that. They're really
Yeah,
good. They're playing some really good basketball. So I've always been a pretty big Raptors fan. Last year, or the last couple of years, I guess, hasn't gone extremely well. So it's nice to see them getting on the right track. The Leafs, on the other hand, I don't know about
that's a
that.
problem.
Hey, they won last night. A nice goal by Nyman. Nice
Whoa, they got a
overtime.
goal. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough go for them right now. So many injuries as well.
Yeah, no, exactly. No,
I
it's
don't, I
an
don't, I don't see them competing. Anyways, don't need to talk about the Leafs too much, but yeah, that's what I've been doing. Obviously, following up on the baseball offseason. Josh Naylor going back to Seattle.
ooh,
Cool
yeah.
to see Josh get that kind of deal. And I mean, Seattle kind of had to do that. He was so good in the playoffs.
92 million?
Yeah, 92 million. Yeah,
That's a
5 years.
steal, man.
Oh, I mean, I'll take that on both sides if I'm being honest. Like
Sure,
that's
absolutely.
yeah, they needed to fill that first base slot, and Naylor can hit as we saw in the playoffs. He's a good player. So I'd always love him in Toronto. Obviously, doesn't really fit with playing first base and Guerrero playing first base, so it wouldn't really work out. But it would be cool at some point maybe to see him play here in Toronto at some point in his career. But yeah, that's kind of all I've been up to, working, following all that stuff.
Mississauga native, man.
That's right. He actually, him and his brothers played in the same organization that I did growing up.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Okay.
yeah, he's I want to say 3 years older than me, 4 years older than me. And then his brother who plays for Cleveland is a year older than me. So yeah, they were kind of, around. They ended up moving on to another organization as they got a little bit older, but as kids we were we were playing in the same organization.
That's pretty wild. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
something, you can always remember. That's memories. Memories, memories, memories. So that's pretty cool, man. I don't think I've ever had anybody, like something like that, but you should be proud of that.
Yeah, no, it's really cool to see them and they have another brother who's in the athletic system too. So
Oh, wow.
um,
Oh, right. I
yeah.
heard about that. Okay.
Yeah, and their
Yeah, yeah,
cousin
yeah.
plays for the Athletics. Man, imagine that. That's crazy. Like
That's
all
nice.
these from Mississauga and Pickering, you got four related guys playing in Major League Baseball. It's actually pretty cool.
Crazy.
But yeah. Anyways, so good to see that, and that's kind of all I've been up to. What have you been up to, man?
Yeah, man. You know what? It's got my son's report card,
Oh,
or we did, and well, he did very well.
good
He's
to
not a
hear.
gifted student. The reason why I say that, I'll tell you why. Because they give like V for like if you're like gifted, and then the next one over is like an A, B, C, D. So he pretty much got A's all around,
Okay.
all down his thing. If you're not an A plus if it's like you're gifted. I was asking about that to the well, not to the teacher. I asked somebody about that, and they said, yeah, that's for like if you're gifted. So he's not gifted, unfortunately. Well, he is gifted. Yeah, he's gifted. You know what I mean, though. Like he's
Yeah,
not
no,
one of
I
those
got you.
guys that aren't gonna. He's not one of those kids that are gonna skipping a grade kind of thing. I think
Sure,
that's what
I
I'm trying
got
to
you. I
say.
got you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But he's doing well. I'm really, really. Well. Both of us, we're really, really happy about that, and he's doing well. And yeah, like that's what I've been up to. Just being a dad, man. That's what it's all about, and it's a life changer. Anybody that's gonna have a kid and have a baby and watch him grow up and stuff like that. Like he's lost his two front teeth now,
Oh,
and
look at that.
if something like that. So now he looks like he looks like a hockey player now, which is kind of funny. So he's actually coming to the game November 29th. So that's the plan right now. So
Okay.
hopefully nobody shows up at the house like last time, and he
Or I
decides
don't
he
get
wants to
sick
play.
like the time before
Or
that.
yeah, we won't talk about that, Brendan Lane. Yeah, you got sick and I had to fill in for you, but that's okay. No,
Uh,
stuff like that's gonna happen, right?
yeah,
So
it seems to. It seems every time. No,
yeah,
hopefully he
yeah,
gets out there this time.
yeah. He's coming. Yeah,
Okay.
he's actually looking forward to it. He's pretty pumped up, and he's doing his skating, which is
Nice.
which is pretty well. He's doing well with that, And he's killing it in skating. So he's ready to play hockey next year. We're gonna buy him his first equipment coming up soon and stuff like that. So just to say, yeah, that's what I've been up to, man. I've done sports wise, well, whatever. We won't even talk about the Browns. They lost again. And that's why I'm not wearing the toque anymore. If anybody's watching on YouTube, that's gone. That's
You
big time
switched it
gone.
up to the baseball hat.
Yeah, why not? At least to make it closer that way. And yeah, so that's about it. That's about
Yeah.
it. But the
The
hockey, we had some hockey going on too, Brendan.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that on the football, the Bills won, so they
Yeah,
played
right. Yeah,
played a good game, and Thursday night football coming up too, so looking forward to that at the
the
time
Bill
of
are the Bills on?
yeah on Thursday. I don't know
Who
why
they playing?
I don't know why I'm forgetting who they're playing. One
I
second,
forget too. I think you're right. Yeah.
they are playing on Thursday for sure. I cannot remember.
Oh, are
We'll
they
get to
playing
hockey here in a moment.
Are they playing the Jets?
I
I
don't
want to say the
believe
Jets
so. You think
for
no, the
some reason.
Texans?
Oh, right.
Yes,
That should be a good game.
yeah,
Depends where it is. Is it in
it's in
Buffalo?
Houston. No, it's in Houston.
Oh, it's in
Yeah, we'll
the
see.
Bills will still win. Are you kidding me? They're looking good. They beat Baker, man. They beat
Yeah,
Baker.
yeah, that was a good game. That was a good game for sure.
It was a good game.
Anyways, we can get into some
Right.
hockey now. We've
Yeah, let's
we've
get some
talked a
hockey
little
now,
bit
right? So
about
we had a couple
everything
games.
else.
Yeah, so we had a couple games on the weekend. Steelheads with an awesome performance against the Oshawa Generals, winning it by the score of 3-1. Outshot them 42-18. We'll get more in detail about that later on in the show. And then I think that, and then the second game against the Brantford Bulldogs, Brendan, deserved big time a better fate, in my opinion, losing it 5-4. Outshot them, in my opinion. Well, they did. They outshot them. Just Brantford just has way too much firepower, but what a performance! Just came up a little bit short in that game. So, but we'll get to that after.
Yeah,
But
yeah, we can get to that. No, I
yeah.
just want to quickly mention about those two games. Big performance from Keaton Arda in the first
Mhm.
game, 2 goals. That was awesome to see him kind of get the offense going, and he's looked really strong here in the past. I want to say month even, or a little bit less than that, 3 weeks, something like that. You can see the improvement in his game, so that's really good to see. And then I agree with you in that Brantford game. I thought they did deserve a better fate
Mm.
in that one. Again, like you said, outshot them. We'll get into it in more detail here in a little bit.
Yep.
But yeah, I really like their game in that Brantford game. And we'll see if they can kind of carry that over into well, I guess Thursday coming up here. It'll already happen by the time this comes out, but we'll see if they can carry that into that game.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming up here. Our guest, who we usually don't talk Western Conference and stuff like that. So our guest is a friend of ours and who we see on the tour, and we're really looking forward to talking to him. So we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have that special guest right here on Trout Talk on Saga 960 AM. Welcome back to Trout Talk right here on Saga 960 AM. And let's welcome in the man, the only one guy. Oh, there he is. There he is. We can see him on YouTube there. He's got a mustache going on. It's the voice of the Erie Otters, Trevor Kubeja. Trevor,
What's going
thanks so
on?
much for coming on. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Absolutely.
Coming on, man. I really like the mustache. I think that's the first thing we need to throw out there. Mikey already said it, but it's looking good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, guys. Our head coach, Chris Millette, told me that everybody's doing Movember. We're doing it as a team. He said, I'm on the road. I'm on the trips. I'm around the guys. I got to go with it. I've never done the mustache before, but it'll look a little cleaner, too, for our weekend, Friday, Saturday. I'll shave the sides, make it pop a little more when we're on camera and on the broadcast. So I wasn't a fan of it at first, but it's kind of grown on me throughout the month here. So it's a new look for me, but trying to pull it off the best I can.
Trevor, you look like you're about 45 years old now. That's right now. You
Well,
were, I mean, you are a young guy, but with that mustache and your beard there, like we could see on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, Trevor Kubeja is a young man, but right now he looks like he's about 50 years old and he's ready to read. And, yeah, he does. And he's ready to have a book. He's ready to have a book and sit by the fire. Yes, he is.
Oh, man.
All right, yeah. Trev, thanks so much for coming on. All right, Trev, you know what? You're the voice of the Erie Otters. This is his first year, ladies and gentlemen, being the voice, the head guy. Took over for Sean Bednard. another solid individual, of course. So how's the first year going for you?
It's been great, honestly. Obviously, a lot of great years getting to know you guys over the last few years. My time as an intern and obviously hired on full time last year. But to be the guy here has been truly an honor. And obviously, for me, growing up here in Erie, and I remember it really well when the Otters played the Steelheads in 2017. Obviously, that one came out on the Otters end, but a lot of fond memories of going to games growing up. Obviously, a huge Otters fan, so to be able to be the guy to bring the sights and sounds of Otters hockey here to home to Northwest PA has been a true honor. And traveling around and see all these rinks that I grew up watching the games on TV has really been sick. So it's been fun so far. We had some growing pains certainly the first couple of games, especially with our home broadcast, but finally able to get those ironed out over these last few weeks. And for us, good to be home for this recent stretch here. It feels like we've been on the road a ton. The Otters it just played at time of recording 7 home games at this point. So we've still got a lot more to go and a lot of fun home hockey at the EIA.
And we'll get into the Otters play and the Steelheads and Otters having a game coming up. So we'll definitely get into breaking that down. But Mikey mentioned Sean Bednard and somebody that you had worked with in the past. So how was that kind of transition? Obviously working with him, learning from him, and then taking over the spot after that.
Yeah, really, honestly, kind of like thrown into the fire this year, certainly, is kind of how the best way I can describe it. And that's been a good thing, I think, for my development as a broadcaster. But Sean could not have been a better mentor for me. He's someone that I met his first year in Erie. I had a media credential, and I would go to the games and cover him on our college radio talk show. And toward the end of the season, I was like, hey, I'd love to do an internship. Did that for 2 years, learned under him. I was his color guy. That second year, I did some fill-in, including a game in Mississauga toward the end of that little stretch in October of that had been 2023. And then obviously kind of went from there. But last year, having him in the office and being able to pick his brain on so many things, and a guy that obviously knows hockey from the pro level, working in the SPHL, and kind of the grind that goes alongside that. And for me being kind of the OHL guy, I taught him a lot of things I feel like about this league even. So, it was a really awesome dynamic. We're still really good friends. We still keep in touch to this day, usually a text or two every day between us. So we're still really good buddies, but definitely miss having him around for sure.
Yeah, he's a good guy to learn off of for sure. But it's interesting how you say, I taught him about the OHL and stuff. Trevor, what made you an OHL fan?
So growing up here in Erie, it's just kind of what you do, right? You go to the Otters games. And with that, I was always fascinated by the other teams and stats and everything. And I'd always play the NHL video game as the Otters and play an OHL season. So I get to learn players that way. And to get into broadcasting, I would always I'd play the video game and I'd call the game when at home. So I'd be doing OHL games. So I'd get to know the players, get to know where they're drafted to. So when Sean came here his first year, I was, a young sophomore in college with a media credential, but I'd be like, oh, this guy's out of the lineup tonight. What's going on? He's really good. And Sean would be like, yeah. And there was a player, Ryan Struthers, who played in Mississauga for a bit. I remember his brother Matthew with North Bay, and I said, Sean, I'm like, oh, his brother, he played in the league. Sean, he was like, who's that? And I would tell him, oh, he's playing the American League now. So I was a huge OHL fan. I love the idea of seeing a player at this level and then seeing them at the next level. I think that's the best part about junior hockey. And, now for me, seeing some of these guys whose games I've called, they're in the NHL now. Matthew Schaefer, I always joke with Sean. I got to call his first goal in the OHL when I was filling in for Sean in a game in Niagara that first year there in 23. So I would always hold that one over him. So seeing him doing what he's doing in the NHL, but not just him, right? Zane Perek, I've called a goal of his. Some other guys, of course, Sam Dickinson with San Jose now, Michael Misa. These are all guys that, I've called their games. So to see them at the NHL level is really, really cool.
And I got to ask more from a fan perspective. When you were growing up, like you said, going to games, how cool was it, those teams with McDavid and all of them? That must have been a pretty cool ride there in Erie.
It was incredible to see him, 34 times a year for 3 seasons. I remember I actually told this story on our podcast. We filmed an episode earlier on today with Michael Deck. I had in 5th grade, I had my career day, and this was McDavid's rookie year. And I said I wanted to be a hockey player. So the Otters sent Connor Brown, who was the captain at the time, and now obviously gone on to a great NHL career. And I asked him, like, hey, like, there's all this buzz about this Connor McDavid, but he's 15. Like, how good could he really be? And he's like, Trev, like, this kid is really good. And, you go see him play the first game, and it's like, oh, wow, like, this guy is the real deal. And obviously, 3 years, they make it to the final in 15. I remember that run really well. I didn't get to go to any of the home games in that series because I was sick during the game 3 and 4 that were played in Erie, and then they lost in 5 in Oshawa. So, but I remember that team really, really well. They were just a blast to watch. The power play would be operating at like 33% every year. They'd get on the man advantage. You just know they were going to score. And just so many unbelievable players, like not just the McDavid and, DeBrincat and Strome, but a guy like Kyle Pettit, who was an NHL pick with the Vancouver Canucks, never made it, but great, third line center, unreal in the face-off dot. And, Darren Radish patrolling the blue line with Eric Chernak and all these guys that have gone on to NHL careers. And even, not just spanning the McDavid years, but into the 17 championship team. I mean, it was just a thrill to go to the rink and watch those games.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I remember going to the rink and seeing you when you were, well, you do look like you're 50 with the beard, but without the beard, I'm saying. So, but anyways, and I'm seeing the rink and I see you doing the color with Sean, and you always had we have a nickname for you. It's nothing bad, but we call you the bow tie, right? That's what we call
Love it. I love it.
So Trevor, ladies and gentlemen, wears a bow tie, but there's not many dudes out there that, in my opinion, that the bow tie suits, but it suits you. I'll 100%. Tell you that right now. It suits you 100%. So what made you get into the bow tie, Trev?
So when I was growing up playing hockey, we always had to wear a shirt and tie to the game. And I always was like, you know what? I just want to do something different. I'm gonna go with a bow tie. So I always wore a bow tie to the rink when I played, and it just kind of stuck around when I got into broadcasting, knowing, okay, I've got to wear a suit now to do my job. Let's keep the bow tie. Let's do something different, right? So I'm not huge into the crazy suits. My broadcast partner Tim will he'll do that, but I just like the bow tie. I have a bunch of different themed ones now. We have a season ticket holder who actually has been making me bow ties to wear for all the home games that are themed.
Lucky
whatever
you.
Theme night is going on that night. So I've got quite the collection now going on, which is really incredible. So
amazing.
It's become like a little bit of a thing for me. I'm not one that loves the spotlight too much, but if that's my little shtick, I guess, not too bad of one to have.
We always say it every time we see you. There's the bow tie. There he is.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. You got somebody's making those for you.
Yeah,
I think that's
really.
Why doesn't somebody make stuff for us, Brendan?
Yeah, I mean,
we got Robert and I don't even know that other guy's name.
Robert's the best.
Robert's number one. I think it's time. Robert watches us a lot. So 100%. Robert, if you're watching, make us some cookies or something. I don't know. Get the wife to make us some cookies or something like that. So, anyways, that's awesome. That's great.
Anyways, yeah. So, we can kind of get into the season now. Of course, with you guys, a little bit of a struggle to start the year off here with the Otters. Obviously, similar to Brampton, lost a lot of players from last year's roster. So, if you're looking at the team right now, what are you kind of looking forward to here, and what improvements could be made here in the coming months?
Absolutely. And I think a great comparison, Brendan. I think these two teams are kind of in a similar boat. You look at the two, a bunch of the players that these two clubs lost. For us, Malcolm Spence, Matthew Schaefer. For Brampton, obviously Martone and a couple of graduating players as well. I mean, there's a lot of faces that moved on. So for Erie, it's been a struggle on the road. That's been the real issue. At home, this is a winning hockey team. They're 4-3 currently at home, and it's a different team when they play at the Erie Insurance Arena. I don't know what it is, but the buy-in is certainly there to the Chris Millette system. And he says it all the time, look, guys, the system works, and you just need to buy in. And I think the proof is certainly in the performances that we've seen here in this building. So for Erie, they have been a lot better since the acquisition of Michael Deck from the Owen Sound Attack and a 1-for-1 swap for Wesley Royston. He's been incredible. I mean, this kid, he's 5'9", buzzes around the ice. He's elevated the power play since the Otters had a rock bottom power play in the Ontario Hockey League. Since he's come in, their power play has been at about 30%. It's risen, it's doubled in overall percentage since he's been there. And him on the top line with Dylan Edwards and Gabriel Frasca has just been a joy to watch. So these guys have really rallied around this young man. And obviously Cornell commit, he's got a great head on his shoulders. He's been just a blast to watch. So exciting to watch him continue to develop, and really hoping that this homestand the club's about to enter is going to hopefully lead to a couple of W's here.
Yeah, so Michael Deck, actually, ladies and gentlemen, he played with Aidan Lane at St. Andrews as well. So Aidan Lane was a former Steelhead. Now he's at Harvard University. So it's interesting. These St. Andrews kids, you got Michael Deck going to, where's it going? Cornell?
Cornell.
Holy moly. That's where what's his name went on The Office, Andy.
Oh.
You guys remember that?
No, I didn't watch
it. You don't watch nothing anyway. What do you don't watch The Office? You don't, anyway. Trevor does. I'm just kidding, but no. But The Office. Andy went to Cornell. Yeah, so he played with Aidan Lane, and Aidan Lane came up with the Steelheads a little bit last year when St. Andrews was done. But that Michael Deck, I thought that was a good trade for the Erie Otters. I mean, Roy said I think it helped both teams out because they were looking for grit, and you guys Erie Otters were looking for a little bit more scoring and whatnot. Yep. So, but Trevor, you guys go on a lot of grueling road trips, man. Like, I mean, from being an Erie broadcaster, holy moly, you guys were just up north for 6 days? Like, talk about like these grueling road trips. What do you guys do on the bus and stuff for these road trips? Like, man, the hotels. Like, what do you do in Sudbury? I don't know. I know there's nothing to do, but I don't know. Did you find something to do?
I mean, it's definitely interesting, right? Because geographically, our closest opponent's Niagara, and that's 2 hours. Which for you guys, Brantford, Barrie, like Niagara, you've got a bunch of teams kind of in that little circle right around you. So travel-wise, it's definitely interesting. I love the road. I love being on the road. I love just the radio broadcast. It's nice and simple. You show up, you call the game, and you just have a good time. For what I do on the road, I don't really do a lot of time in the hotel. I'm working. Obviously, it's still PR communication stuff that needs to be done week to week, making sure that everybody's taken care of from our side for the upcoming games and for everything. But I'm not one that's afraid to go hang out in the pool for a little bit at the hotel or go find a mall or something to do. On a recent road trip, one of my big things that I enjoy doing is theme parks. In the summer, I travel around all over the country to baseball games and theme parks. So Tim and I went to Canada's Wonderland on Halloween a couple of weeks ago on our way to Barrie. Like, you know what? Nice. I've got a pass that gets me into all 40 plus parks now within that chain. So we went there for a little while, had a great time. So great. I love Sean and I went to the Tigers home opener last year in the playoffs when we were in Saginaw. So if there's an NHL game going on, I went to a Raptors game. We were in Brampton.
Oh, yeah, you were telling us.
Game, something like that going on. I love live sports, right? Like that's what makes this job, just being in a building, watching a hockey game live. Like there's nothing better than that. So if I have an opportunity to go to a game, I mean, I'm totally all in to take advantage of that.
Nice. Good stuff.
And you had mentioned earlier about the struggles on the road this year for the Otters. Do you think that kind of plays into it with all the travel and all these kind of tough road trips?
I certainly think that could be some of it. And look, the Otters have now gotten all of the road trips out of the way against teams they're only going to see once. So the rest of the season, I think our furthest trip is probably Owen Sound, and that's next. And that's another 5-day grind on the road. We'll be in Kitchener on a Tuesday. Then we don't play till Owen Sound on a Friday, but we're just going to stay up there because, again, it doesn't make sense to come all the way back across and then go all the way back up to Owen Sound when you're already 2 hours away in Kitchener. So other than that, though, we go west a bunch. We still have to go to Michigan again. We go to Flint. there in Saginaw. Of course, we go to Sarnia, Windsor. So a lot of games against the West Division, still a couple of trips to London. But no, I agree. I think that a lot of these long road trips, the one that we saw you guys on was a week-long trek all the way from, Niagara to Brampton to the Sioux and then down through Michigan. It was all the way around Lake Erie doing the whole loop of the OHL. So I certainly do think that plays into it. Look, this team has spent a lot of time on the road, a lot of time on the bus, a lot of time in hotels. And again, I think just they've been able to take advantage of the home games. I think now that they're going to start stacking up here as we get closer to the holiday break, I think it gives them a big opportunity to start moving in the right direction and starting to pick up points here because look, the bottom of the Western Conference is pretty open right now. You look at Sarnia's obviously had some struggles. Saginaw's kind of been up and down. I wasn't really super impressed seeing them, but they've got a couple of really exciting young players there. So you look at the Western Conference, Guelph is kind of up and down. There's opportunity within both the Midwest Division and the Western Conference to take some strides forward. And, I wouldn't be surprised if there's another move made to add on to this roster. The Otters have been kind of banged up on the blue line here recently. So I've been relying on a lot of APs, a lot of young guys here to kind of fill the void there. So we'll see what general manager Dave Brown does with this team come trade deadline. Will they be sellers? Will they be buyers? Is a big question. Will they kind of stand pat? Again, I feel like the NCAA rule really changes that and that what you do if you do go all in on a year or if you do kind of sit back and move on from some guys.
Yeah, you know what? You made a good point. Like, do you go all in? And because you could get a player that's going to that's already committed to like Michigan or something like that.
Yeah.
Then what? You're going to get him for 1 year. There goes like 4 of your second round picks, just to say. I can name a team like that. I'm not going to say. I think that team knows who they are. But hey, if you got to go for it, you go for it, I guess. But no, good point. Very, very good point. But the Western Conference, talk about the Western Conference. You're a big Western Conference guy. Of course, we don't really talk about the West on this podcast too much, obviously. But it's good that you're on. You talked about the Guelph Storm. That's a team that's kind of up and down. I don't really, and even in the bottom, like Kitchener to me, like, I don't know. Besides the Windsor Spitfires, even the Windsor Spitfires, nobody's really taken that conference and just kind of run with it so far, wouldn't you say?
There's not like a Brantford Bulldogs, right, in the West
No.
this year. London hasn't been quite as potent as they've been in years past to start this season. And usually they get off to a slower start, but here we're in mid-November, almost late November here. So if they want to turn it on, I mean, now's the time to do it. Windsor, we haven't seen yet, so I couldn't really tell you much about the Spits. Kitchener, we saw early in the season. So again, not really super familiar in terms of other than, scoreboard watching and box score watching. Guelph, we saw a little bit more recently. It was Luchenko's first game back in the lineup. I actually thought they were going to be a little bit better this year than they are. I had them, taking a really big step forward. I liked what Corey Stillman had brought. They got some intriguing young players. But obviously, Wysick's been really good as a rookie in this league. But yeah, Luchenko coming back, it was kind of like, is that going to happen? Is it not? He was relatively quiet in his first game here in Erie, but has gone on to obviously start doing Jet Luchenko things. So, the Guelph Storm are another interesting team. Erie still is going to see them 4 more times throughout the rest of the season, so especially in the back half. So those two teams, I think, are something to keep an eye on because if they kind of keep going in these same directions, those games could be very, very important down the stretch for Erie and Guelph. The one team that I'm really fascinated by is the Owen Sound Attack. Obviously, they've kind of gone all in this year. And it feels like if there's ever a year to do it, why not, right? Carter George probably isn't coming back next year.
Bowie's not coming back.
I've heard. So why not go around a guy like that wants to win now, wants to win in Owen Sound, and they've gotten off to the start to do so. You move on from a guy like Michael Deck, who's been incredible for the Erie Otters. I cannot overstate how good this guy has been in an Otters uniform so far. Definitely. But, you bring in a Wesley Royston who fits in really well to the Bayshore, fits into that style of game that they want to play up there.
That
Tristan
arena.
Lil has been great. Pierce Bowie's been great. Like, they've got the pieces. Harry Nancy's had a good year so far. They have the pieces to go far. We're going to see them again, 2 games coming up here in a couple weeks. I'm excited to again see how they've built their club. And I think if there's ever a year to go in for them, this is it.
Totally agree.
And speaking about upcoming games, we have a Steelheads Otters game coming up a week from today recording. This will come out on Sunday. So we'll have a Wednesday night game in Erie. The Steelheads took the first matchup of the year, that one in Brampton. Now they head out on the road for Erie. What are you looking forward to in this game?
Well, the first thing for me is it's teddy bear toss night. So
it
always
is?
enjoy the teddy bear toss. Mike's got a little extra airtime he's going to have to fill. So I figured I'd let you guys know that one now. Put that out there now. But always fun when these two teams collide. We only get to do it twice this year as opposed to the 4 times with a little bit of a schedule rearrangement. We play Brantford 4 times now, which is unfortunate for us given the how good they've been. We'll see them 3 times in the month of December, which is going to be quite the gauntlet for this club. But no, Erie Brampton, always a good matchup. It was a pretty solid game when they met back in Brampton. I always love to reminisce about the first game the Otters played in Brampton last year. The OT winner was back and forth. The stars were shining that day. And, it's amazing, again, just the turnover we've seen with these two rosters. But a lot of exciting young faces with both teams, and excited to see what the next installment of a 2017 rematch brings.
Yeah, and one thing I'm scared of is the fans in Erie. I'll just tell you that right now. They're very passionate. Let's just say very passionate. So Trevor is a big Trailer Park Boys fan.
Yes,
big Trailer Park Boys fan. Which me and Brendan really love the Trailer Park Boys. I mean, we always joke around and about that show. So my favorite episode. Okay, who's your first? I got a question for you. So who is your favorite character on that show?
My favorite character is probably J-Rock. Always makes me laugh.
Wow. Great.
Love
That's
J-Rock.
A great choice. Okay.
Like, always makes me laugh. It's just so funny.
Mine's probably Ray. I think Ray is
unreal. Ray is unreal.
Brendan love Ray.
The guy in the chair, man. Like,
do you think you learned something about Canadian culture by watching Trailer Park Boys?
Oh my god, 100%. 100%. Like, I feel like it's just like I don't know how to say it. Like it is, but it's like so unbelievably Canadian, like over the top Canadian. Like nobody actually like acts like that, right? Like, but it's like I feel like some of the references in there definitely do carry over. I feel like I've learned more about Canadian culture from watching Shoresy and like Canadian hockey culture because it is really like spot on, like with the portrayal I feel like of what it's like. But yeah, Trailer Park Boys is like, it's so over the top that I feel like it can't be like no way that it's actually
I love the with Ray. I gotta mention that I love J-Rock too with Ray. Every time he always has a beer inside of his front pocket.
Like,
and he goes for another beer and he'll say, "Hey buddy," and he'll be drinking one. And then, hey buddy, you want a beer? And then he'll give you the one he's half drank.
He's already drinking out of
That's Canadian.
It's so funny. I mean, just like the humor.
Well, not
like,
really, but.
It's just not. It's so dumb, but it's hilarious. I absolutely adore that show, and just oh my goodness. There's just so many classic episodes. I mean, the one where they fake having Ray get beat up and then oh my goodness,
and they go to court after and they're going it's so good.
I can't watch that, mate. I can't
turn that off. I can't see that. That is one of the best ones.
J-Rock's a good
J-Rock is a great choice.
Like just so funny. Spinning the records.
You know what I'm saying?
Man. You know what I'm saying? Or the one time or when he was pirating the music.
Yeah.
He had to turn back to his regular self.
So I call it cross promotion.
It's cross promotion.
All right, Trevor. I got one more question for you.
I got one more for you too.
Okay, we were talking to you last time. We know you're a big Pittsburgh Pirates fan. Okay,
huge.
And we were just talking about Josh Naylor before you came on. Did you see the reports that the Pirates were looking at Naylor? And what do you think? Do you think they're actually going to spend this offseason?
I'm very curious to see. I'm a huge Pirates fan. For those of you who don't know me, I travel all around the country all summer long, seeing the Pirates on the road, seeing them at home. Wild. I go to probably 30 plus Pirates games a year. And that's living 2 hours away from PNC Park. I wish I could go to more, but the reports with Josh Naylor, I'm curious to see if it's smoke and mirrors because I mean, they offered him $80 million, I think the report said, and he signed for 92, and that's taking a hometown discount really to stay in Seattle. And obviously Mississauga guy, so from the region, which is great to see. But I would have loved that signing. First bases right now, it's all right with Spencer Horwitz. Had a really good year with the Bucks last year, but you can move him around if need be. I would feel like, but the reports were they're in on Kyle Schwarber, which would be very much the biggest signing in Pirates history. Their largest free agent signing to date is Francisco Liriano, $39 million. The last time the Pirates gave out a free agent contract was Ivan Nova in 2017.
Oh, I remember the former Yankee
free agent contract. So it's been a long time, but I think, and something I saw the other day was, Bob Nutting, I think, feels almost guilty and knows that he has Paul Skeens for a very, somewhat concise window. And I think he's thinking about what his legacy could be as Pirates owner if they don't win with Paul Skeens. That was a tweet I saw the other day, and I'm like, you know what? Like, maybe that makes sense, but at the same time, it's so frustrating, right? Like last year, they had one of the better pitching staffs in baseball.
They did.
The hitting was just pathetic. I mean, it was brutal.
Yeah, that's too bad. I kind of liked watching the Pirates games. It's just when they came up to bat, it just bored me.
And
I knew nothing was going to happen.
Pittsburgh's a great baseball town too. Like
when
they're good, it's an awesome place. And that park is beautiful as well. I've never been to a game at PNC Park, but I've seen it from a hotel room. I was playing in a hockey tournament in Pittsburgh. It looks really nice, obviously.
If you ever have the chance to go, I highly recommend it. I go there so much that I feel like I don't really appreciate it as much as I probably should. I honestly look forward to the road trips more because I'm going to a city, maybe I've never been to, or, spending time somewhere that's different. But yeah, PNC Park is truly a gem. I have been to 28 ballparks. I've got 5 more to go. That includes some other, I saw the Jays in Buffalo. I saw the A's in Sacramento, the Rays in Steinbrenner and at the Trop. So I'm going to hopefully finish off the ballparks this summer. But yeah, it's truly a gem. And again, as you mentioned, when the team is good, that place is rocking. I remember a Sunday night game I went to in 2015. They played the Dodgers on Sunday Night Baseball, which Pirates don't ever get nationally televised games. Place
the Blue Jays, buddy.
It was just electric. I feel like if they're heading in that direction, if they are going to spend, look, I don't need them to spend $100 million on one player, right? Like,
it's not worth it anymore. No one does that anymore. No one does that except if they're the Yankees or the Dodgers, right? And you got all that money and stuff like that. Dodgers, I don't even want to talk about them. We want
right? Like,
I'm sick and tired of the Dodgers. I'm sick and tired of the Yankees. So you know what we're going to do right now? We're going to circle back a little bit here. Because you start talking about money, now I got upset because I can't stand the Dodgers, and neither can Brendan. So, right? We talked about this a million times. My last thing, you traveled with Matthew Schaefer. What a player. What a kid. I've talked to him a couple times. What was it? Tell us what kind of a kid. You've been around him a lot. What kind of a kid is he really?
He is genuinely like the nicest kid you'll ever meet and one of the most fun people. I mean, he would just run the bus. Like, even his rookie year, I mean, he's around, like, he's with everybody. He's with the older guys. He's with the younger guys. He's just like the most likable person you could ever meet. Like, that guy he's got to have like the biggest group of friends of all time. Like, he is genuinely like the nicest human being you'll ever meet. And he's just like the coolest guy ever, right? Like, I remember interviewing him for our podcast right after we drafted him, and just like was blown away. Like, this was the first overall pick. And, at that time, it wasn't necessarily consensus that he would go on to be an NHL first overall pick. But, being around him all the time, he's such a humble kid. He comes from an incredible family. His dad, Todd, just an awesome guy. Never got to meet his mom, unfortunately. But just for the amount of stuff that he has gone through and to be the person he is, the leader he is, he'll be a captain in the NHL one day, no doubt. I mean, he would have been a captain here in Erie, if not for, going to the NHL at 18. Sure. I mean, if he comes back this year, I wouldn't have been surprised if they would have given him the C at 18. So he is truly a special, special player and an even better person. Just being around him always would make me laugh. He'd come up, mess with me a little bit, mess with
That's
everybody.
awesome.
Always had a smile on his face, just always would light up the room.
All right, Trev. You know what? We want to thank you so
Yeah,
much.
big
Thank you
thing.
so much for coming on, man. That was a good laugh, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Trevor Kubeja. He's the voice of the Erie Otters. And I encourage you to listen to the Erie Otters when they don't play us, right? Listen to us. But when when the Erie's playing somebody else, listen to Trevor all the time. He does a great job on the with this Erie Otters team. Trev, thanks so much for coming on, and uh, keep up the great work. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, thanks for
Gentlemen,
being here, man.
really appreciate you guys having me on. So this was a blast, and
Yeah,
anytime you'd love to have me, I'd love to jump on. So always
you
fun to
bet.
talk hockey, always fun to talk to you two guys. Mike, we'll see you soon. Brendan, always a pleasure, my friend. Guys, thank you guys as well, and we'll see you guys soon.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. See
Thank you
you
very
later. Have a
much.
good one.
Have a good one, Trev. All right. That was Trevor Kubeja, voice of the Erie Otters. And boy, oh boy, is he knowledgeable. I'll tell you that right now, folks. Great guy. One of our friends on the tour, one of our favorites on the tour. So, yeah, we'll come back with more Trout Talk right here in Saga 960 AM. Welcome back to Trout Talk right here in Saga 960 AM. We just had Trevor Kubeja, the voice of the Erie Otters, just on. And what a likable guy, eh? Brendan, he does such a good job with the Erie teams, always working and stuff like that. Great kid. Really, 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 really like his work. And yeah, that's all. Like he just does a great job and such a good guy.
Yeah, I agree. No, it was great to have him on and kind of hear what he had to say about obviously, growing up as a big OHL fan and then getting into that position and kind of all the steps that he took to get there and now what he's doing with Erie. Great job on the broadcast with them, and obviously has a podcast as well too, where he talks. He mentioned that as well, talking talking with Michael Deck here. He said he was on earlier today, so he's all over the place doing this
Yeah.
stuff. So great to have him on, truly, and it's always good to see him when he's around the rink for sure.
All right, so let's talk about let's get to the next two games that are going to be played, and then we'll get to the game that's going to be coming up right after Trout Talk right here in Saga 960 AM. First, it's going to be the Peterborough Petes. Steelheads right now sitting in 8th place in the Eastern Conference. I think Peterborough Petes are sitting in 4th place in the Eastern Conference as of right now. This will be the third time already of 4 of these two teams are going to meet, Brendan.
Yeah, that's right. The Steelheads have struggled a little bit with the Peterborough Petes this year. Of course, the first game of the season, the Steelheads weren't able to come away with a win there, and then they lost one other as well against these Petes. And you know what? Peterborough, who has struggled for a long time, it's been a little bit since they've been contenders. With this Eastern Conference being wide open outside of Brantford, I do think that this is a team that can compete for sure deep into a playoff run, and it's always good when the Steelheads have to face off with them. Tough place to play in Peterborough. We always say that going into Peterborough on a Thursday night, but looking forward to that game for sure, and see if the Steelheads can maybe exercise some demons there playing against the.
I think so. I'm feeling good about that game actually for the Steelheads. They played them tough. It was a tough. I'm going to make this short and quick. It was a tough. It's a tough opening game to go in there in Peterborough. I mean, it's tough opening game to square corners, whatnot. Then the second game was absolute bloodbath. I'm not bloodbath. Excuse me when I say that. I meant to say it was very, very physical.
Yeah.
The second game. Expect the taste the same. It's going to be a physical game. This third one. All right, so that should be a good one. And then coming up on Friday night, or the next one after that's going to be the Flint Firebirds' first and only visit to the CAA Center, Brendan.
Yeah, that's right. The Flint Firebirds, just checking it out right now, fourth in the Western Conference. So they've gotten off to a pretty good start this year. And the West again, I wouldn't say that there's like a powerhouse. Windsor's really good, and Kitchener's got a good team, and of course London is as well. But yeah, Flint I think is a team that the Steelheads are going to have to of course play tough. And I think if they can play that physical style of game against Flint, we know Flint always plays physical as well. They're always in that sort of same realm as the Steelheads in that regard. So I would expect that to be another physical matchup, and again another good test for the Steelheads against a team that obviously you're only going to see twice this year and one time at home.
Yeah, Jimmy Lombardi's a guy to watch for on that Flint team. Nathan Aspinall, another guy, Caden Petrie. They got a pretty solid defense back there as well, and a good goaltender, Mason Vicari. He's actually playing well ever since he got traded over from the Kingston Frontenac. So that'll be the second game. Then the game coming up right after Trout Talk right here at Saga 960 AM. The Sudbury Wolves. And yes, it's the first of 6 meetings between these two Central Division rivals. So the Wolves are sitting in last place right now, but doesn't matter. When these two teams meet, it's always good.
It's always good, Mikey. Like there's always
Yeah.
some fireworks that come out of these two teams playing, and nonetheless, it's going to be 6 times this year. So it's always when you play the teams like Sudbury in your division, you keep playing them over and over. That rivalry just grows. And yes, as you mentioned, they are sitting in last place right now in the Eastern Conference. But you look at some of the guys who are still on that roster, like Nathan Villeneuve. He's got 24 points on the year. He's had a good year. That's somebody who always comes to play against the Steelheads. And he's been around for a little while, so you know that. Of course, Kieran Walton, another good player. Chase Coughlin, another guy too, who comes to play against
Always.
the Steelheads. So
Yeah.
Even though Sudbury is sitting in last right now, the Steelheads sitting in 8th place, I believe at this point. I still think that there'll be some good hockey games between the two, and really looking forward to the first meeting.
Yeah, that's the first one, and then they meet again November 29th, and that's going to be the Pucks and Paws game.
Oh, there we go.
That's we get to see all the doggies, but
against the Sudbury Wolves, it's the Pucks and Paws. Look at that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I think that's a pretty cool thing right there. So, but against the Wolves, maybe maybe somebody's going to come with a Great Dane. I've never seen a Great Dane yet, but
no, I haven't seen one either. You're right.
Remember we were talking about that. We always joke around like if I brought a dog, I'd bring a Great Dane. Excuse me, can you move your dog? I'm sorry, it's too big. He has to sit here.
Takes up like
anything.
4 seats.
But no, it should be a good matchup. Always is between these two teams. It's always physical. You know that with you mentioned the players, Kieran Walton, Villeneuve, Ferrand. They've lost some players too, right? So,
of course,
graduating players. Their goaltending situation's kind of shaky right now. With Finn Marshall, I think he's been sent home. They signed another guy, Jan. I can't remember his last name. Maybe Brendan, you can help me out here. Go on the Wolves site.
Yeah, let's find this.
I'm too lazy to go over Brendan's.
No, I got
going
you.
on the computer here. Okay, thanks, Brendan. But yeah, so they signed a guy from the USHL. I know that he played in the USHL.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that one yet, so I will.
Yeah, it happened today actually, but we'll see. Yeah, it should be a good game. I mean, Steelheads, they're playing good hockey right now. They're playing good hockey, and I feel that road trip in Sarnia and Windsor, I think that's where it started for me. That's why I feel like, Brendan. I think that's where they got a lot of momentum, and they kept that going this weekend. Or last weekend, excuse me. The great game they played against Oshawa, start to finish, totally dominated them. Brantford, we talked about that. Should have been a better outcome for the Steelheads, but that's just the way it goes, right? And so now these two games and the Sudbury Wolves, you got to win these games. And if you're Brampton, you got to keep these guys down below you, right?
Yeah.
They got to play each other twice now in the month. So that's what you got to do. You got to beat these guys right away. You got to keep them down.
Yep, have to be able to pick up 2 points against teams that you're going to be competing with to make the playoffs, right? So the Steelheads did a good job of that in their last game, or not last game, but when they played the Oshawa Generals. So now they're going to have to do the same thing here against Sudbury. The goalie's name is Bjorn Bronis.
There it is. Thank you.
Yes.
Yawn. Yes. Where did I get yawn from?
Oh, that's pretty close. Yeah, okay. So he is Sioux City Musketeers
there it
of
is.
USHL, and he is also committed to the University of Minnesota State University. So, so they're trying to figure out the goaltending there in Sudbury.
Well, David Green should know him because David Green played with the Green Bay Gamblers, so David Green might have a little insight on him.
Yeah, that's true.
Playing USHL, so that could be a good one. That's coming up right after the break, right here on Saga 960 AM. Join us live for all the action. Brendan, last thing, life tips. What do you got?
Life tips. Do we want to get to 3 stars? I think we should hit the 3 stars.
Okay. Yeah, we got a minute for 3 stars. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, we'll quickly get these in. For the Steelheads, I am going to go with, I think, Keaton Ardoff for sure is going to be in there 100%. I think he, with that game that he had against the Oshawa Generals, I think he's definitely going to be in there. I think also for the Steelheads, I'm going to put in Zach Bowen as well. Zach Bowen
Yep.
played a really good game against the Oshawa Generals. I thought that he was flying around the ice. Excuse me. He was tough. He was making the saves. I was still thinking of Keaton Arda. He made the big saves when they needed him. Close to a shutout in that game. So I liked his play. And then I'm going to go with Julian DeMiglio as well.
Ooh,
DeMiglio. I thought he had a good weekend.
He did. I agree. Good choices. I'm going to go with Manny Amato. It's going to be one of my choices. I thought he played great on the weekend. That would be one of my choices. I got to go with Jakob Fibiger, of course. He's a star every week out there, and he's just been playing absolutely fantastic. And the first star, my first star too. Got to agree with you on this one, Keaton Arda. He was unbelievable against the Brantford Bulldogs. He got that 2-goal game against the Oshawa Generals. For a rookie, and he's playing in a line now with Josh Avery. I happened to talk to him about that, and Josh Avery was a plus 2 with 2 assists on Friday night as well. So those two have some good chemistry going on, and they keep this going. Look out, folks, if they can keep this going with 2-3 lines and whatnot. So, but anyway, those would be my 3 stars. All right, Brendan. Now it's time for. And you got any life tips?
I don't think I've got any for you right now, Mikey. I really gotta prepare for this.
Come on, man.
Before we start the podcast, I really got to think about what I need to bring for life tips. That's going to start now.
All right, fair enough. All right, so let's just keep it at that. I got, I life tips. What do I got? The grocery store. Nothing really happened this week.
Yeah, maybe I think we're out of time this week. We'll get some good life tips.
We're gonna get to it next time. All right, so thanks so much for Trevor Kubeja for coming on Trout Talk on Saga 960. You have the voice of the Erie Otters. Hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll talk to you next time right here at Trout Talk, right here at Saga 960 AM. And stay tuned.